Hi everybody, grab a cup of coffee if you haven't, or tea or beverage of your choice. I'm drinking coffee. I'm going to be discussing some house projects that I want to get to throughout this year and probably going into next year. I don't want to kill myself doing these. It is just going to be me. Maybe my mom will come in and help a little bit because she has offered. She likes to paint, she likes to do other things, but I'm not going to force her to do anything or be on camera when I do those. But I want to go through because I've already started on some of the house projects, and the main reason why I'm doing that is because I am a new older home owner. I just bought this house from my mom in December. So it's now the end of March. So it's been a couple months, and I've already started on, I've already completed my master or primary bathroom. So I have that series already out here, and it's a 4-part series of me going through and redoing my bathroom. Not necessarily renovating, like full gut job renovating type stuff, but just making do with what I have, removing some stuff and, you know, just making it mine in a way. So I have my list of other rooms and items, including stuff out in the garage and outside that I want to do. So it is going to take some time. I'm trying to do this as budget friendly as possible because I'm still trying to pay off my debt. However, I'm going to be spending a little bit more money on my bedroom and my bathroom, and that's because those are kind of my rooms, even though the entire house is mine. Those are the rooms that I want to retreat to for sanctuary, you know, where I sleep, you know, all of that type of stuff. So those rooms I will be spending a little bit more money on, and most of the rooms in the front of the house I've already gone through and repainted and did a lot of stuff. There's just minor things that I want to change. I may need to repaint some walls because I only put 1 coat of paint. We'll get to that later. But yeah, so that's basically what I'm going to do, is go room by room and give you a plan of what I plan on doing, and then give you kind of like my long range where it's 2 to 3, 5, 10, 15 year down the road. I don't plan on moving anytime soon. You never know what will happen. So, but it's, you know, at least having a plan like that in place to start saving up money when I pay off my debt, which hopefully will be the end of this year. So that is where we are at right now. So the first room I'm going to start on is the master or primary bathroom. I've already completed that. I did that in February and early March, and I plan to move on to my master primary bedroom in April and start working on that. It shouldn't be as difficult because I'm not buying any new furniture. I have already purchased some new bedding just to treat myself, so that's kind of where it's going to get a little pricey because I did buy nicer bedding. I'm not getting a new mattress, although I'd like to get a new mattress, but that right now is not in the budget. So, and my mattress is still okay. So that's what it's, I'm still going to use the furniture that I have. It's just making some minor changes in there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, like I did in the bathroom, I'm going to remove the carpet. The carpet was put in the 90s at some point, and it was the early part of the 90s, and it has held up very well for it being 30 years old. And it's just that my cats are tearing it up in some spots, and it's also a lot of dust. I have allergies, and one of my previous cats, who just passed away a couple weeks ago, suddenly passed away. She threw up a lot, so it was always a pain from the get-go that I was always having to clean, like deep clean the carpet a lot. And luckily the 3 boys, there'll be 3 in May, they don't throw up as much. I do have one that if he overeats, and eats too fast, he'll throw the food right back up. And then the other two just throw up when they're sick or not feeling well. So, so I don't really have to contend with the throwing up as much as I did previously. So that is one thing. Remove the carpet. I am going to be painting the ceiling, the walls, the trim, the doors, because I have the door to the attic in there as well, and the door to the actual room. I've already painted the bedroom door, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did in the bathroom and paint the floors. And I am doing that because once I pay off debt, I'm going to put money aside to save up for luxury vinyl, plank, tile, whatever. With having the cats, that's a lot easier maintenance on me. And yeah, so that's what we're doing in there, and just some minor redecorating here and there. I have thought about, and this is kind of not in the budget right now, but I do have a TV that is in there. It's not the best TV, and I eventually wanted to buy a new TV for the front room and move the TV that I had in the front room into my bedroom. But it's like the newer TV, the one that I would buy is exactly the same one that I have in the living room right now, but a bigger size, and it's around $400 when you add taxes and all of that. So it's like, that's just a little, it's not in the budget right now. So it's like, I'd like to change out the TV, but my TV is working still. So it's not the best. The speakers are going out. It was my grandmother's TV, and she was hard of hearing, so she had the volume up really high on her TV, and the picture is not the best quality. It's cloudy along the edges and kind of has a dark spot in one corner. It's not the best, but it is working. So, and I don't need a top of the line, like frame TV type thing. I don't need that. I just would like one like I have in my living room. I wouldn't mind having the one that I have in my living room currently in my bedroom, but there's going to be some minor decorating in there. And as I move through the house, I don't know if this is the order I'm going to go in, how I'm going to say it here, or if I'm going to switch around rooms. And because my thought was that I would basically follow the duct tape. That's what I'm using as my transition from carpet to concrete, and that's what I'm using in my bathroom right now. Bedroom bathroom is duct tape, just so that the cats are not trying to eat the carpet. But I don't know if that's how I'm going to actually do it, if I'm going to switch around rooms. But moving on, like I said, not in an order that. It is moving from the back of the house to the front, which is what I want to do. But the next location would be the hall and hall closet, and it would be remove the carpet, paint ceiling, walls, trim floor, and redecorate. I may get new frames for the hallway or do something in there. I'm not sure. Add some mirrors just to bounce light off. I don't. So I'll get to that when I get to that. Then we have the guest bathroom, and it is remove the carpet. I need to redo the caulking around the tub. I need to do a really good clean of the tile in the tub area. I'm not quite sure if I want to do this or if I want to hire a professional to do it, but the tub is a porcelain tub, and it has chips and scratches in it, and I almost want to hire a professional to redo the coating in there and do, patch up the little chip that's in there if they can, or just redo the coating. But I know there's DIY kits where you can do that. I just don't want to screw it up because the tub literally is built into the walls. There are We haven't found them, but there are pictures that my mom took when the house was being built, and you have all the studs, the framing of the house, and the tub. And that's it. So it's like the house, the tub was built into the house. So I literally would have to tear all the drywall off, everything out to get that tub out. And it is a cast iron porcelain tub. So it's not light, it's not easy to get out of there, and it's doing a perfectly good job. So I don't want to do massive renovations at this point. So there is that thought about redoing that. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it or not. I need to add that wax coating to the countertop, and I need to paint the wall, ceilings, trim, floors, cabinet. I'd like to replace the fan because I don't know if the fan is actually powerful enough. It is the original fan, so I doubt it's powerful enough, but I don't know how much that's going to cost. So it's kind of like, I don't really want to do anything, but the cover for the fan is yellowed plastic, so I want to spray paint it, and just, that's kind of what I want to do, spray paint it and then put it back up there, because, the fan works, it's just, it's very loud, that type of fan. And then do some minor redecorating, new shower curtain. Golly, words are escaping me today. Not sure if I want to replace the pictures in there, because the pictures I have are paintings from Haiti, and I really like them when I actually do look at them. So, but I like how they're framed. I like where they are on the wall. So it's like, if I redecorate, it's going to be some minor touches here and there, but not much. Then moving on into the office, I just recently redid like the whole layout in there, so I don't really want to change the layout, but I want to remove the carpet. I need to repaint the walls because there are some chippings and things like that have happened in the past couple of years since I last painted the room. The ceiling doesn't need to be painted, but the trim does. The closet needs to be painted as well, and I'd like to remove the the rods that are in there like I did in my storage closet in my bathroom, and just because I have those shelves in there and everything, that the closet is being used as my office storage closet where I have all my supplies and everything. So that needs to be done, and redecorate, maybe change out the curtain rod, something like that. Nothing fancy. I don't really want to change the layout of the room where everything is, because it seems to be working perfectly fine now. The guest bedroom, remove the carpet. I need to paint wall, ceiling, trim, floors. Also go into the closet and paint that. I also want to reorganize the closet, because that's a storage closet that has just gotten out of control. I've just been throwing things in there, and because my mom stays with me, she uses the closet because she usually brings a suitcase and then she brings her clothes on hangers and separately. So she does use the clothing, the curtain, the closet rods that are in there. So, and then just do some minor decorating of the bedroom. Right now, I can't afford a bed. I'd like to get a Murphy bed for in there, so that way I could kind of move my exercise equipment in there, so when there's not a guest, I can have the exercise equipment out and all of that, but when there's a guest, so I have been looking at Murphy beds, but they are, the ones that I'm looking at are not the full ones, that big huge unit that take up the entire height of the wall. I don't necessarily want to get one of those because my ceilings are lower and it might hit the ceiling fan when it's coming down. So I'm looking at ones that are more about this high and they fold in, so they look like a big bureau of drawers or something like that. And but those are between $1,800 and $2,500. Really not in the budget right now for that. So that is definitely something that would be a long-term thing. But right now I have a twin size bed in there, and I'd like to give my mom a bigger size bed. But for now, we will just have to make do with a twin size bed, and she's fine with it. And then there's just some other things. The door doesn't latch, so I need to do some adjustments to the door to figure out how to get it to actually latch shut correctly. And so that way she doesn't have to position a bag in front of the door so that the cats don't push open the door in the middle of the night, which they do. Push it open a crack and it usually wakes her up. So I don't want her to have to deal with that. So, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's not much else. So I'm gonna make do with the furniture that I have in there. I may redo, like, almost make the bed a day bed in a way, but it will be difficult because it's a headboard and a footboard. So I don't know if I just want to go and get just a regular twin size frame and not use the headboard footboard thing anymore. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with that, but that will be something for me to think about for the future. Not right now. I'm focused on my bedroom, on what I'm trying to do in there. Going from there, we have the laundry room. That has the original linoleum on the floor, and I don't think it has asbestos, but I don't want to mess with it because it's not, I don't want to have to move the, well, I'm going to have to move the washer and dryer to get in there to paint, but I'm not going to remove the linoleum. I may, when it's time for me to come through and do the, or I may remove it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But plan is right now I'm not going to remove the linoleum because I just don't want to deal with that because it is glued down. It has many water leaks as we've had in there from washers overflowing and stuff, and it still hasn't bubbled up or done anything. It's some strong adhesive on that linoleum. So I need to paint the ceiling walls, trim. I have cabinets in theirs. I have doors. I kind of would like to redesign or maybe take down a door or something like that just because it's in the way. Because it's in the way. I need to go into the linen closet, paint in there, do something with the shelves, probably put shelf liner on there again, and just try to organize the linen closet a little bit better than it is right now because I've just thrown things in there, and organize the cabinets as well. So it's doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot because it's having to move the washer and dryer out of the way. I also have the water heater in there, and the cats will always want to get in there. It's a tight space. So I'm not looking forward to when I get to the laundry room, but it's going to have to be done. So from there, we'll move out into the front room, and most of these rooms, the front part of the house, most of these rooms I've recently done in 2020, 2021, and 2022, I think. So I don't have to do a lot in here. So I'm TV room, removing the carpet. I need to paint the walls, the trim, the floors, and I'm saying the walls, I just need to put another coat of paint on the walls. That was a room that I only put one coat of paint on because of a vaulted ceiling. I probably should repaint the ceilings, but that involves me borrowing my mom's scaffolding. I really don't want to do that. So yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to let the ceilings go because they were just recently painted a couple years ago. But the walls do need to have a second coat because you can see some splotchiness on the walls. And this is where it's like I have new TV ? I'd like to put an entry table along the wall that is currently separating the kitchen from the TV room that I eventually in the 10 to 15 year range want to get rid of completely. But the wall is big and blank, and I'd like to put something there. So gallery wall, console table, something like that. I have very 70s-ish poles, bars, whatever you want to call them, that separate the formal living room from the TV room. I don't want to wall them in, but they are, it's hard to explain it, but I will insert a picture of what they look like. They're very 70s-ish. I've seen other people where they've painted them. I don't necessarily want to paint them. I want to cover them. I just want them to be square, you know? So it's like I might just get the very thin plywood and make strips and just kind of tack them into the posts that are already there, and then stain paint, something like that, just to I don't want the brown there anymore, but I don't want to paint them either, and I just don't like the design. To me it's very 70-ish, and that is not me. That is not my style. Aesthetic, I think is the word. I'd like to add some lighting to the built-in bookcases, do something over there because it is a dark corner of the room and it just feels like it's a big dark hole over there. So do something like that. And then I did a horrible job of putting caulk around the fireplace surround. So I just need to remove it. It's really easy. It's hardened, so it just kind of, you take something sharp and it just kind of flips off. So I need to clean that area up a little bit, and not much else. Maybe change the TV. I don't know. Just depends on where I am in my budget, debt payoff, how much I've been able to save, all of that type of stuff. So going from here, from the TV room into the front room, which is right off here to my side, not much because the room is pretty much how I want it. I need to remove the carpet, paint the trim, paint the floors, maybe do some redecorating. I'd like to get rid of the 2 armchairs because they're just not the colors that I like anymore, but I can't afford that right now. So that's, 2 to 3 years down the road, maybe I'll be able to afford the chairs, but right now they're okay. They're not my favorite, but they're in there, they're doing their thing. Then the front entry, which is literally right here, the wall is right there. Not much to do except for, because I am removing the carpet, I am also going to be removing the wood floor. And I'm just doing that for safety because I know if I remove the carpet and the tack strips, the wood floor is going to be 1/2 inch to 1 inch higher than the floor, the concrete. So I know everybody is going to scream at me for doing that, but because eventually I want to do LVP flooring and all of that, I just don't want to deal with the wood floors. But they're engineered wood floors. They're okay, but because of the cats, I just don't want wood floors. It's too much maintenance to polish and do too much work for me. I don't want that anymore. They are not the original floors to the house. It was linoleum here, and like they built up concrete. What my mom said is they built up the concrete, so the linoleum sat on built up concrete, so when they were putting the wood floor they had to break up all that concrete and then able to put the floor down. But the floor is glued to the concrete, so I'm not looking forward to that task, and also when I get into the kitchen to do all of that also. So again, people will kill me because I'm removing wood floors, but it's too much maintenance for me. I just want to be able to mop my floors and not have to think about every couple months or years polishing and re-urethane. I don't want that. I don't want to worry about the cats scratching up the floors or doing all it's. I just want them to be able to. So moving in here to the dining room, really this is probably going to be the easiest room. It's remove the carpet and then paint the trim. That's it. Because I don't need to do the ceilings, I don't need to do the walls. The furniture is where I want it. I keep thinking I want to get a round table that extends into like a oval, and I still might do that because it just feels like the rectangle table is taking up a lot of room, and since my mom and I are usually the only two here, I don't really need to have all these, you know, 6 chairs sitting here constantly. I can have just 4 chairs and a little round table, and it would be easier to walk around and clean around. And so but again, not in the budget. That'll be something down the road to think about. Okay, from here we're going to the back entryway. Remove the floor. It is the engineered wood floor, so remove the floor. Paint the floor, paint the walls, because that one also has only 1 coat of paint on the walls. And then trim walls, floors. And I forgot about this on the front door and the back door. I kind of would like to have storm doors so I could open them up, at least the front door, open it up so I can get more light into this part of the house, because it does get light. It's just there's only the 2 windows and it just seems dark. Right now I have the overhead light on the dining room table and only part of the curtains open right now, and it's a gloomy, overcast day. So then from there into the kitchen, remove the wood floors. Again, people are probably going to scream at me going, no! But that's what I'm going to do, is remove the wood floors, paint the trim, paint the floors. Until I can redo, like fully gut the kitchen and do all of that, I'd like to see about stripping off the urethane and trying to lighten the cabinets. I don't want to paint them, but try to stain them a lighter color. I don't want to do a lot of sanding. I almost want to get rid of the plate rail that's up at the top, but I don't know if that's even possible. Just because my cats always want to walk up there, and I have a fake can of air that the battery died ages ago, and it's probably out of air, but it's up there. And because one of my cats actually walked around most of the plate rail and fell off and gouged lots of holes in the wood as he came falling down trying to catch himself, and he did some damage to his claws when he did that. So I like to see if I could take that down, but that might be too much. So but yeah, it's like I'd like to lighten the cabinets up, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of sanding, and I don't necessarily want to sand. So yeah, so that's kind of what is going on in the kitchen. Pantry, like the walls don't need to be painted in the pantry or any of that. It's just removing the floors and just repainting some of the trim here and there. Moving outside to the garage, I purchased these shelves. They're almost like they're the IKEA version of the Container Store's Alpha shelving system. I ran into a stumbling block when I went to put them up, because my studs are not the same width as where the holes are on the suspension rail. So it's like I have the middle hole screwed into the one stud, but the 2 on the side, it's a big hole, because my garage is a detached garage, so it doesn't have any drywall on the walls. So there are no, without studs there, the suspension rod is doing this, and when you actually have the lines going down, you need to screw in the little rails that go down, and then be able to put in the shelves and the drawers and all of that. So I need power tools. I have a jigsaw, but I don't know if I can cut through studs to be able to, because I have electrical that runs through there, so I can't just put a full stud and screw it right in. I have to cut the stud so that way we can go around the electrical wiring. So on the other wall, I don't have to do that. The back wall, there's no electrical wiring running back there. But on the one right by the door when I enter, there's electrical wiring. And that's what I wanted to start with because it's smaller and easier to deal with. So that's where my stumbling block is, because I need an actual like power saw and not just a jigsaw, because I really don't know if jigsaws can cut through studs. If you guys know, please let me know, because I'd like to be able to get that project done without having to spend money on more tools. I probably could go to the hardware store, get the studs, and just measure where the electrical is and have them cut the studs, and then I can just position them in and then screw in the holes, you know, sister it to the existing stud, and then be able to put the rods, the rails and everything down and start doing all of that. But I'd like to hang the shelves. I need to work on my work table. The top is, I think it was MDF, but it's just disintegrating. So I need to buy a whole new tabletop, and I was thinking butcher block or something like that, that I can put a like marine varnish or something like that on it. I want to redo the legs, something along that line. I need to repaint the floors on the concrete floor in the garage because it's been chipping up and all of that. I'd like to see about a new garage door opener. That was also put in the 90s as well, and it's very noisy, and not necessarily new doors, just a new opener. And it's actually like the whole, you can see the inside of the, it looks a little scary when you're over there. Then on the bottom of the garage door there is a plastic seal that has ripped over the years, and that seems to be easy enough to replace. I just need to actually buy the seal to replace it. And I bought a cat door for the walk-through door, and I have yet to put it in, so that is one of the things I want to add at some point. Hopefully soon I can go ahead and do that. And then moving to the outside part of the house, I need to paint the outside of the garage. That is the only area really I need to paint, except for like the wood pieces that are around the windows in the front of the house. I need to reseal all the windows, so redo all the caulking around the windows. All of my screens have like big gaping holes. They're not attached anymore, so I just want to buy the screen material, buy the, I forget what it's called, but there's a tool, and it's the little piece of rubber that goes into the frame that holds the screen into the frame. Basically, it seems really easy to do. I just need the tools to do it. I'd like to power wash and stain the fence, the wood fence. The wrought iron fence needs to be chipped away and repainted pretty much like every couple years. The light pole that I have out front, that it doesn't have a light in it. It used to be a gas light, but we cut that connection ages ago. So it's basically, I have to go out there. There's a wasp building a nest in it right now. But kill the wasp that's in there, and then I need to clean off the top because it's turning green, and clean the top off and then repaint the entire pole black, and then spray paint the little eagle gold. I need to cut back some bushes. I have a lot of the yopon that have just gone crazy, and I just need to cut them down to nothing. They will grow again if I cut them down to nothing. I mean, some of these could be little trees. They're that tall. I have a lot of weeds in the backyard that are on top of fences, and I want to get rid of them so that way they don't pull, the weight of them do not pull the fences down. And there is one piece of wood that's right here by the dining room window that has been rotting out, and I need to actually replace it, and hopefully there's not a lot of damage to the inside of the wall. But that is something I need to do fairly soon because it's really bad. But so far, that's the entire list of house projects. So like I said, it's not, I don't think I can get to this every single, like all of this in 1 year. It is definitely going to take some time, and I'd like to get the carpet and the flooring all replaced and painted this year. But there's a lot of other projects that are just going to have to, you know, once I pay off debt and all of that, come back and work on them again. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with the house projects. Long term, like 2 to 3 years, hopefully I'll be able to save up the money. And since I've removed the carpet and the wood floor, I will be able to cut the cost and laying the LVP flooring. They'll also be able to see where they, approximately how much they will have to do with the leveling the concrete to make the floors all level, because just looking at my bathroom floor, it is not level. So they will have to level the floors before they put the LVP down. So that is something else that that's extra cost that I'd like just to have it all open so they can see it, and then we can go from there. And so that's the next thing. And then it's just saving up for the kitchen redo, and that will change like the whole look of the the house. There have been also other thoughts where I would get rid of the attic door, and along the wall where I currently have my TV in the family room, I'd build stairs and go right above the bar, have a little doorway into the attic there. That way it's not, you're not on a rickety ladder trying to climb up, you're actually on a stairwell. It would be, you know, it wouldn't be a full-size door, it would be like a half door, but it would shrink the size of the living room. But I would prefer that, especially if I want to retire here. It's, you know, I don't want to be climbing up in the attic and doing all of that. And right there I would have a little bit more room to maneuver a little bit. It would, because really and truly over my bedroom is where there's more storage, more room for storage. And with that attic being fairly the same temperature as it is down here, I have no problems storing things up there. It's just the fact that to get up into the attic right now, I have pipes and wires and AC tubing and, you know, all of that stuff, all in rafters coming down and all of that. So it's like, it's not the easiest, and I really am not flexible enough to actually be the contortionist to get around all of that. So that is one thought that I've thought of doing even when I was younger living here. I've never understood why we didn't just build stairs to the attic there and got rid of the whole attic doorway and the ceiling, because that just kind of freaked me out. It still does freak me out when I walk underneath it every single time. I'm like, ugh. So and it's like eventually maybe putting a mantle over the fireplace. You know, the bookshelves in the living room, I don't necessarily need the built-in desk, so maybe doing some built-ins, like full bookends, or making it have some drawers or something in there. Other than that, there's lots of home projects. So I am, you know, just getting started, and I'm just trying to take it one step at a time, one room at a time right now. And my next step will be working on my bedroom and just getting it to be my sanctuary again, and just changing it up, doing something a little different in there, but not really getting rid of the furniture, so, or moving the furniture or any of that. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I hope everybody has enjoyed this little kind of like walkthrough of my list of home projects. And I'm sure as I start going through and actually, you know, get to those rooms, my list of things that I want to do will just increase. But I, again, am going to try to keep a lot of it budget friendly and just trying to work with what I have. But my bathroom and my bedroom, I have spent more money than probably necessary, but I wanted them to be where I didn't have to think about them, basically. So I want to be able to relax in those rooms. And right now the bathroom is, I'm very much enjoying the bathroom, except for the paint color on the cabinets. I'm still not sure about it. It's still really bright. So I have other paint samples that I have yet to actually like paint anywhere. I probably need to do that today. Go out to the garage, get a piece of plywood out there, spare plywood, and just paint the samples on the plywood and take it into the bathroom and just sit it in there and see what I like. But my sister is coming this week to look at what I've done. She is currently also redoing her house, and she bought is it a 1920s Cape Cod style cottage in Virginia, and absolutely ridiculous on how much she spent on it. But where she is at, she's in a very expensive area of where she lives, and she has to live there because the job she has with her county, she is required to live in the county, and she decided to live in that area. She can afford it. So that's the one thing, she can't afford it. But since maybe it's the 1940s, I don't know, it's much older than this house. And from the day it was built as a rental, and the previous renters were not nice. There are literal holes in the wall where it looks like someone just punched holes in the wall. So she's having to do a lot of patching. The stairs going into the basement are very rickety and all of that. I'm thankful that I don't have to deal with stairs. Although my oldest cat that just recently passed away, she loved stairs. She loved going to my mom's house and running up and down the stairs. That was one of her favorite things to do. Anyways, so yeah, that's where we're at. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and you will join me in my journey of making this house my house, my home, and trying to get rid of some of the 70s style that hasn't changed much, because my mom doesn't like change. I love my mom, but she doesn't like change very much, and she very much liked the browns very much in the 70s and 80s, where brown carpet, brown couch, brown walls, brown wood, brown. I know that's coming back. Not for me. It's not coming back. I don't mind some brown. I really don't mind some brown, but not a whole palette of brown with nothing else added in. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching, and I will be back next time. Bye everybody.